Hi, Richard Nelson here with the Commonwealth Policy Center, and I am at the Kentucky State Capitol with State Representative T.J. Roberts. He's a legislator from Northern Kentucky, and Representative Roberts introduced House Bill 88. We're calling it the School Choice Bill, and what it does is it bypasses Governor Andy Beshear when it comes to authorizing the opt-in for states to take advantage of the tax write-off for those who want to contribute to a school choice plan. Getting into the weeds just a little bit, in the big, beautiful bill passed last year, there was a school choice provision which started something similar to what the legislature passed a few years ago called education opportunity accounts. And what this does is it allows people to make a donation to a grant-making authority, and then that grant-making body would write scholarships and give essentially scholarships to needy families and children. And Senator Roberts, or Senator, State Rep Roberts, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. And tell us why you introduced House Bill 88.
Absolutely. So I introduced House Bill 88 because parents and families deserve educational opportunity no matter what their zip code is, no matter what their financial status is. And right now, the special interests have made it to where only the ultra wealthy can truly afford the ability to provide the best education for their child's needs. I went to public K through 12. I turned out just fine, but my educational needs are not the educational needs that you had as a child. They're not the educational needs that any other child has. A one-size-fits-all approach is not appropriate when we're dealing with the best interest of a child. So I introduced House Bill 88 to require Kentucky to opt in to the Scholarship Tax Credit Opportunity Program under the One Big Beautiful Bill Act that creates the tax credit that you mentioned. And the reason why I introduced this is because this is not using any state dollars. It is using federal tax cuts. I would say that a tax cut is not an expenditure. It's just the government electing not to tax you on that money. That's a totally appropriate role within the federal government. And ultimately, we see states that have school choice with better performance for students. It's incredible the opportunity that you see with students once they take these opportunities. And further, this benefits public schools too. It allows for students who have educational needs that the schools can't quite provide for to utilize these scholarship funds for tutoring, for books, for transportation, for anything that child needs to have the best educational outcome that they could have.
Representative Roberts, the Kentucky Supreme Court made a ruling a couple years ago saying that the education opportunity accounts, the EOAs, were unconstitutional. And the thinking was that it was diverting something like this program, which they considered it a public resource, diverting it from public schools. Governor Andy Beshear has essentially said the same thing, that this is illegal, even though it's a federal bill with federal tax write-offs. No state tax write-offs are here. How do you respond to that this is unconstitutional?
Yeah, if Andy Beshear truly thinks that a state constitution can restrain Congress from its power to tax that is duly delegated to it in Article 1, Section 8 of the Kentucky Constitution, the University of Virginia should revoke his law degree. And for the Kentucky Supreme Court, sure, there is a Blaine Amendment in our Constitution that was written by people motivated by anti-Catholic and anti-Black bigotry in order to keep communities that were outside of white Anglo-Saxon Protestant communities from getting educational opportunity. That was the motivation behind that constitutional amendment. Sure, they upheld that in violation of the First and the 14th Amendments, but it only controls state general fund dollars. It doesn't even control lottery funds. It doesn't even control road funds. It doesn't control any funds other than the general fund. And it most certainly doesn't control federal funding. And to that end, once again, tax cuts are not spending. We're not giving tax dollars to private schools. We are simply allowing for people to donate to a 501c3 nonprofit and write that off of their taxes just as if they had done that with any other nonprofit organization. So this is a common sense measure, and the supremacy clause is clear. States cannot affirmatively utilize state legislation to subvert a field that is fully occupied by Congress.
Very good. The bill number is House Bill 78.
88.
I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Thank you. House Bill 88. This, again, is a school choice bill. One last, if you could close on this note, what are the prospects of this passing? Are you seeing a lot of support from your peers?
I've seen overwhelming support, but this is one of those things where you just have to let your legislators know that you want that opportunity. You want the ability to do that. Be polite, be respectful, but just make clear to them, because there's a lot of fear. The teachers union is loud.
Mhm.
You need to be louder, but you also need to be louder in a way that actually is conducive to a civil conversation to ensure that this mission doesn't get into the politics, because if we just get the politics out of it, our kids will be better off for it.
Right. Thank you so much, Representative TJ Roberts, for introducing this and taking time with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you.